Hi everyone, I hope you're fine. Welcome to Kim Explains this evening. Today, former President Uhuru Kenyatta was accompanied by his former cabinet secretaries to visit the home of Professor George Magoha the late. He spoke very important words about Professor George Magoha. And what was clear is that Magoha was such a resource that Kenya will miss to get. A few days ago, I hope you will remember, if you are a fan of TikTok, I delivered a video and I delivered my take on what killed Magoha or what the death of Magoha means to Kenyans. And most other people who would criticize that speech when I said that it was Professor Magoha who sealed the loopholes that this country had in terms of education. And before I even analyze and before I tell you what I want to tell you, I would like you to listen to what Uhuru said about Professor Magoha and this CBC that is being fought by the current administration.
And I believe that when I made him a minister, I made the right choice in putting at the helm of education a man who deserved that position, and from there continued to do what he did in addressing the curriculum challenges that we had, in bringing on board a new education system. People may say whatever they want to say. Hiyo ni wataongea, utaona watarudi tu hapo hapo. Hoja ni wacha wapatiwe nafasi wapige mgumzo. They will come back there. Kuna kwa wengine wataenda. Because it was not done to hate this one, to spite that one, to do this one. It was done in the interest of the children of this republic to better prepare them for that future that was rapidly or radically different from the future that some of us had to look forward to. That is what he was preparing.
That President Ruto has nowhere to go. This administration, the Kenya Kwanza administration, although they are very determined to finish and to bring to an end this CBC, they have nowhere to go. They only have an option to stick to the CBC. Well, they may change the way they are implementing for the sake of being relevant to the people who voted for them and to the people who are foolish enough to believe that they can run away from this. But the fact remains that the cure to the useless education system in Kenya, as thought by Professor George Magoha, is this thing you're calling CBC. Outside that, let me ask you a question. How do you explain that students this year, 2022, those who graduated after doing their exams in 2022, would pass with flying colors, yet there was no such performance during the time of Magoha? The answer is simple, that he fought stealing of exams, he fought cheating in exams. But when the current administration came, they did not want to know how he was doing it and why he was doing that. Okay? Now, these students who graduated this time round, we all know that a lot of them cheated in the exam. They are going to be absorbed in our universities. The cut point remains the same, C+. They are going to be absorbed in our universities, and they will study. Some of them will not even pass their first exam. Some of them will not even pass their first semester, because whatever they presented in terms of performance during KCSE or in KCSE was fake numbers. So it will not be possible for them to perform in university, where the exams are much complex and require much creativity and knowledge and wisdom. And if they even take just easy courses, they will finally become poor quality graduates. So nobody will want to employ them. And that is why the country ends up having a lot of graduates who are unemployed. And that is how we punish first class students, because the country is full of pass and second lower division, all those poor grades, and employers prefer these low grades, because at the end of it all, they don't demand for more. How do you explain that in a country where more than 100,000 people graduate every year, only 10 or less percentage find jobs? And if you ask your employers, they tell you they are not qualified. Okay? How do you explain that? So these are some of the problems that Professor saw and decided to bring competency-based curriculum. So ladies and gentlemen, this CBC is the only solution that we have as Kenyans. We do not have an option but to support this CBC. And I sent this message to President Uhuru William Ruto. Let the spirit of Magoha live, to be remembered by this republic, by the good work he did by bringing to us the CBC.